back
Welcome back
to another episode
of
of Let
Lewwe
We
Go
Go
There.
There. And yeah, today we are going there on what I like to call tiny talks
Yeah,
or
and
small talk.
hmm yeah, and I feel like you are the master of no longer giving a shit about tiny talks.
Yeah, so I think it's just because there's a lot of things. It's definitely like they say, wisdom comes with age, age comes with wisdom. This bug, I don't know, just wants to get in on it. Um, so yeah, I was one at one point to be very, very good
Mm-hmm.
and do the small talk very frequently. You could actually say it was my job because it
Yeah, it
was.
was.
Yeah. So, working with the public, doing promotions, literally talking to, if it's a big convention, like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people in any given day, weekend, week. Um, it's all about connecting. And so I feel like, because I know, there'll be opinions and I can't wait to hear them about the small talk and whether it's good, valuable, or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think either one of us is here to say that it's not, it's bad.
Yeah,
It's just not for me.
yeah, not
And
anymore.
yeah. Um, and really, I think it's because I really value my time and my energy a
Mm-hmm.
lot more than I ever did. I was definitely a people pleaser. So I would say yes and go to things and do things that I really just didn't feel like doing. And once again, as I said, I was paid to do it. We don't all love our jobs, but we do them, right? So it's like the job itself was really fun. A lot of the things I got to be around, really fun. And again, a lot more energy in the 20s and 30s than now. But yeah, definitely the part that I do not miss is the small talk.
Yeah.
And I find it to be very draining when it happens now, and it seems to happen quite a bit.
Yeah, I think it's exhausting to do tiny talks now. Especially when, like, I think in our case where we put so many cards into like having a wonderful community based life where we are here, and then realizing you have these conversations with people sometimes you think it's more meaningful and will like lead to that togetherness that you imagined and you realize it didn't. And sometimes it's the tiny talks and then you realize, well, shit, if even the meaningful conversations I've been having aren't like actually meaningful because they're not like
Genuine.
genuine
Yeah.
or like, progressing in like the way that naturally I believe it should or would, then it's like, what is the point of these smaller conversations that you have over and over and over again?
Yeah. Yeah. Couldn't have said that better myself. I feel like, again, if you are getting to know someone, if, you're in an elevator and, I get making those small talks
Yeah.
there. But I feel like if it's one of those things where you're connecting with kind of like the same people all the time, and then, like you said, it's not going further. Like small talk is good if you're getting to something past that.
Yeah.
Or again, you're in the grocery and you're just going to like say just hi, like a whatever to the person working there, just like that kind of small talk is
Yes.
great. But
Yes.
I feel like when all you have is small talk, so it's like you're going out to dinners with people and it's just like big flag for me is people talking about other people, especially
Mhm.
when they're not there.
Mhm.
Um, and like things like that. I feel like once those, like, what is it, the small minds talk about other people and then the big minds talk about ideas,
Ideas,
and
yeah.
again, ideas is such a vast thing that it really
Mhm.
can't be a small talk. Like it's something
No.
that goes pretty deep.
Mhm.
And yeah, in case no one knew, like I'm a pretty deep person, so I just like I personally can't stomach it. Another thing too, I realize, because I was watching a video actually today, on like autistic people and anyone honestly that's on the spectrum, neurospicy, like I like to call myself. It's very hard to do it. It's very hard because it's like it's sending like a mixed signal almost to the brain, whereas like, but this doesn't feel meaningful, this doesn't feel real, like why am I
Yeah.
having this same conversation that I already know what the answer is for both ends. Like to
Yeah.
me, I find that really exhausting. But I also realize too, and other people again could peg me the wrong way, but I'm very introverted. And so for an introvert, small talk is very depleting and exhausting.
It's like I
Because
only have this amount of energy and you're like using it right now for something that's not of
yeah.
value to me, you
Yeah,
know?
and
Because
it's
everyone gets to decide what's valuable of their time, of their energy, of their efforts.
for sure. And like again, it's like I think extroverted people, they are going to thrive off of small talk because when you're extroverted, you're kind of getting filled up by external people and places and conversation, and you're getting that what is it, that signal to the brain. And for me, it feels like the stimulation, it feels like overstimulation to someone
Mm-hmm.
who is introverted, or like I said, maybe on the spectrum or something.
Yeah, and I feel like people who don't get like us particularly because we are very vocal about things, so we are still like have some social media presence and that sort of thing. And if you're like really not paying attention, you would like really not realize like what we're posting is way more like direct and meant to like connect people than ever before. So it's
Not
like
just
if
talking just to talk.
exactly. So
Mhm.
like if you're not paying attention to like who we are, and like we could come across like stuck up bitches now, and like we are at the point in our lives where we don't care,
Yeah.
because that people pleasing part of it, it goes two ways. One, you don't care to do the small talk, and then two, you don't care who cares, like who how you're perceived, I should say.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. Because a lot of times people, it's like, are they actually talking, like when it's a small talk situation, are they talking to try to connect, or are they talking because they're like, oh, I can't, I have to fill the silence, like I have to fill it with something, because
Or
people
like
are so uncomfortable in just like quiet moments. And sometimes quiet moments, the most magical things happen. Like we're
yeah,
in like such a beautiful setting right now, and I can't hear anybody else talking
yeah,
except
you
for
could just
us.
hear
You
the
just hear the
trees
trees, you hear
rustling.
the birds, you hear
Yeah.
everything. And I feel like so much kind of comes to you when you just kind of like sit in that. So it's like if there's two people and I'm all for, like, obviously if you're passing someone saying hi, but like to feel the need to just say something and anything because
Mm-hmm.
like you just have to get that out. It's like you're not really thinking about the other person too.
Yeah, and I feel like in some situations too, it's feeding the other person's ego. Because like one of the things you mentioned is like small people talk about other people.
Bigger, yeah.
Bigger people talk about ideas. I think another thing that like small-minded people do is like that ego thing where they're talking to you because like they want to tell you how much money is in their bank account, or like like things are going great for me, or like how are you, things are going
Oh,
great
I'm
for
so
me.
glad that you just brought up how are you, because I was waiting on that one. The thing that drives me nuts, and I don't know, this was my high school experience and it was very annoying, was like, okay, it's whatever, 7, 8 hour day. And it was small enough that you're going to see the same people over and over, right? So it's like you get a book from your locker and someone's like, hey, what's up? You're like, hey, yeah, nothing much, sup. Literally an hour later, the sup again. I'm like, no, like there's nothing sup since last time. It's like
Mm-hmm.
one of those kind of things where we literally just need to like fill that silence with something. What's
Yeah,
on me right now?
you're good.
Okay. It's getting nervous. I was like, I felt an ant crawling up and I didn't know what was happening.
Yeah, it was an ant, but
Yeah.
I got it.
Okay. I would have talked to that ant though, let me tell you. That's the other thing. I love me talking to nature
Mm-hmm.
and trees and crabs and any animal that will give me the time of day. Because
Mm-hmm.
again, that feels like more depth to me.
She has much more interesting conversations with animals, not just like our cat, but like just like the random rooster outside and the goats than
Love it.
some people,
Yeah.
than a lot of people.
Yeah. I think also realizing too, where again I was masking for so long, being a chameleon, being a people pleaser, doing my job the best way, because not, it's like go, we said like 0 to 100, like we're
Mm-hmm.
all in, or not at
Yes,
all kind
yeah,
of thing. Like that's just who we are.
very absolute.
Yeah, and so I I love that I did that before. Like I'm not taking that back. It's just
Mm-hmm.
now reaching the point. And I think this is a thing too where when you are on sometimes it's different ages, sometimes it's not though. Just different kind of like levels and what you're valuing in life, it's harder to connect.
Mhm.
So, because, like, again, for people, like, just having that small talk is the exact amount of connection that they're willing to go there with. Like, they're not willing to actually give an answer. So, like, when you said, "Hey, how are you?" It's like if your only response that's accepted is good in you, then that's tough for me because I'm just not gonna do that. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, again, if it's just like a stranger that's saying hi, okay, I'm not gonna like bombard them
Mhm.
with my life story. But if you're someone who's like considered a friend and
Right.
you want to connect and you're asking me how I am, but you don't want to actually hear the truth of like things have been real shit and like hard and whatever and connect on that, then that's like a no-go for me.
Yeah,
Like, I'm
I
not gonna just say, "Good, and you?" You know, like, it's I don't know, it just feels like it just feels lame.
Yeah, and it's a very disingenuous relationship because what is the point of having that quality? Because I feel, sorry, that quantity, because I feel like you get a lot of that when it's just these short conversations as opposed to like going in depth. Because when you like this, you said this already, like they're like usually the five people that you're closest to tells you a lot about you
The 5 people that you spend the most amount of time with,
amount
yeah,
of time
mhm.
with. Yeah, so it's like if you're spending how many waking hours, 16 waking hours in a day talking to 100 people as opposed to like, yeah, I have my five main people that like I'm really involved in their life, however I can't be involved, and then I might just like see 20 other people as I go about my day, and like that's it. So like you
Yeah.
have more time to have like more quality interactions with people.
Yeah, and I
So
know we would've talked about it in the friendship episode, but that was so long ago. It's like that difference between the friends and acquaintances, right? So it's like the
mhm.
acquaintances, I'm all for the small talk, like, if again, you're just passing kinda thing.
Mhm.
But if it's something where you are running into the same person over and over again, that you're almost like feel like you're building a friendship, you like you're kind
Mhm.
of towards that, like maybe even have made plans and they've fallen through for whatever reason. And then you constantly see this person and they're saying the same 3 things on a loop over and over that you can already guess what they're going to say before they say it and have an answer on both sides. Then that
Mhm.
doesn't feel like you're building connection. It feels like you're just I don't know if it's the ego thing, like you said, or what it is that you need to just be saying the same thing just to say something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like also at a point where you have to like really pay attention to people's motives because like what is the reason for this small talk? Why are you interacting with me on such a vain or like surface level?
Mm. Just saying that, I have to bring up, I mean, obviously, since before COVID to after COVID, and how like everyone is living their lives online, like we've talked about before, it's like social media more than anything. Feels like people that are just like watching your stories, right? And it's
Ooh.
like they think that they know about your life. Never mind that they don't interact either. So like, why are they just watching your stories if they don't want
Mm-hmm.
to like say anything, like anything, whatever? But anyway, they'll feel like they know you then. So like they've checked in that way, where
Yeah.
it's like they'd probably be the ones to want to do the small talk.
Yeah, it's like social media has made it worse because so many more people have the chance to have interactions with you.
Hmm.
So it's like what is it's
So like quantity went way up and quality went way down.
yeah, it's not even just the 100 people that you might see when you do this small talk now. It's like 1,000 people because so many more persons, accounts have access to you. You just
Yep.
deleted a shit ton of messages.
Yeah.
And like, I'm sure it felt exhausting to just see how much you've had to deal with in your life, right? And it's just for that time that you had that account. Because you
Yeah.
had accounts before that since social media
Right,
existed.
right, right. Yeah, just being like, I don't remember any of these people, these interactions, anything. Like that I find very sad, like it feels like very empty. Like the epidemic of loneliness
Mm-hmm.
right now that's going on with women in particular. It's like it's because we're only feeding the very surface level, and
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't fill us up. If we're feeling sad and we're feeling lonely and then we're scrolling and just watching people's stories, guess what? We feel more sad, we feel more lonely, and we feel less connected. you know it's like pick up a phone, or like if you can drive to a friend's house, like
Yeah.
actually have those real deep meaningful, again, we have it's the whole like calling it friends on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Versus like the followers on Instagram,
Mhm.
which it's feeling like it's all followers at this point, right?
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you what hasn't been tiny, this talk right here, and that's why I think we're gonna stop and come back for a part two.
Yeah, so we'll see you in part 2 next week. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.
Bye.